Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Taha Institute of Science and Engineering. This is the 10th lecture of Fundamentals of Chemistry that covers the topic of empirical formula. Before going toward the empirical formula, we have to know that there are two types of chemical formula. The first one is empirical formula and the other one is molecular formula. And now today's lecture we are going to discuss the empirical formula. What is empirical formula? It is the simplest whole number ratio of atoms present in a compound. What is empirical formula? Empirical formula is the simplest whole number ratio of atoms present in a compound. The empirical formula of a compound is determined by knowing the percentage composition of a compound. The empirical formula of a compound we determine by knowing the percentage composition of a compound. As we know that there are two types of compounds generally, the covalent compounds and ionic compounds. In case of a covalent compound, what way we have to treat the empirical formula, and in case of ionic compound, both covalent compounds and ionic compounds we have to discuss. But first we have to discuss the covalent compound. The covalent compound, for example silica, that is also with the common name that is sand, has simplest ratio of 1 and 2 of silicon and oxygen respectively. Therefore its empirical formula is SiO2. As we can see that it is the simplest whole number ratio between silicon and oxygen, that is 1:2. And similarly glucose is another covalent compound having the simplest ratio of 1, 2 and 3 of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen respectively, and hence its empirical formula is CH2O. And we can see this in the empirical formula of glucose, that is showing the simplest ratio of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, that is 1, 2 and 3. And now the ionic compounds, the empirical formula, how can be treated in ionic compounds. The ionic compounds exist in three-dimensional form. Each ions are surrounded by oppositely charged ions in such a way to form electrically neutral compound. The simplest unit taken as representative of an ionic compound is called formula unit. The simplest unit taken as representative of an ionic compound is called formula unit. What is formula unit? It always, in case of the ionic compounds, we use the formula unit. It is defined as the simplest whole number ratio of ions as present in the ionic compound. Ionic compounds have only empirical formula. There is no molecular formula. Ionic compounds always having the empirical formula or formula unit. For example, formula unit of a common salt consists of one sodium ion and one chloride ion, and its empirical formula is NaCl. Hence, in the same way, empirical formula unit of potassium bromide is KBr. Now today's lecture we have discussed the empirical formula, and in the next lecture inshallah we will discuss molecular formula in detail. So stay with us and keep watching our videos for more knowledge. Kindly like, share our videos, and do not forget to subscribe the channel. If you like our work, press the bell icon button. May Allah bless you. Thank you.